Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. High voltage engineering, and today our topic is dielectric material. The name reveals that we have the dielectric means the two electric charges which are oppositively charged having the same magnitude. So the dielectric material is one that is electrically insulated and exhibits or may be made to exhibit an electric dipole structure. That is, there is a separation of positive and negative electrically charged entities on a molecular or atomic level. Means we have the positive and the negative charges separated by a small distance. So we can say that it is a dipole and it is a property of the dielectric material. Okay, it may be in the form of molecular or atomic level. So we will discuss their types in detail later on. While insulating materials are used to resist the flow of current, dielectric materials are used to store the electrical energy. So dielectric materials can perform both the function. It can resist the flow of current and it also stores the electrical energy. Okay, now the capacitance. When a voltage is applied across a capacitor, one plate becomes positively charged and other negatively charged, with the corresponding electric field directed from the positive to the negative. The capacitance is related to the quantity of the charge stored on either the plate. Means greater is the voltage applied, greater will be the charges flowing through the capacitor. Or capacitance is equal to Q over V. Okay, now if you want to increase the capacitance or the ability to store more charges, so you can get use of the dielectric material over here. So the dielectric material which are used to store the electrical energy, this function can be utilized in the capacitance. How? Let's see. Okay, so the dielectric, let's suppose we have a capacitance in which there is a vacuum in between the two plates of the parallel plates of the capacitor. So the permittivity of the vacuum is represented by the epsilon naught, which is equal to 1. Now if you replace the vacuum or the air with some dielectric materials, and it has the property of this polarization, it get polarized when placed in electric field. So when a dielectric material will be placed in between these plates, for example this is a positively charged plate and this is a negatively charged capacitor, so it will polarize like that. The positive plate will attract the negative charges of the dielectric material, and while the negative will attract the positive charge of the plate. So and its permittivity is epsilon r or epsilon. Okay, if the epsilon r is greater than 1, it has the absolute value of equal to 1. Now we have a value greater than 1, so what would happen? It will definitely increases the capacitance, because C is equal to epsilon A over D. So now if we were having no dielectric material, then C was equal to A over D. Now we have C dash equal to epsilon A over D. So we can replace A by D by this C. So it means C dash is equal to epsilon C, and indirectly we can say that C is greater than C by how much? By epsilon naught. Okay, so it means the capacitance or the ability to store the electrostatic charges has been enhanced by placing the dielectric material between the parallel plate capacitors. Okay, this was actually the demonstration of polarization or the dipoles. uh, the main electric field is directed from left to right. It means we have a positive electrode over here and negative on this side. So what would happen, it will polarize the dielectric material inside this field. So the positive will be attracted by the negative and the negative will be attracted by the positive. So inside we have these positive will be cancelled out with this negative, and on the leftmost side or the rightmost side of the dielectric we have a charge density. Here we have the positive charge density and here we have the negative charge density. So what does it mean? It means we have some internal field as well. This pink line was actually the external electric field, and now these lines which I am drawing is actually the direction of the field of the inside field, internal field. So it means we have the net electric field is equal to the external field minus the internal field. Pink line are the external field and the red lines are the internal fields. Okay, and this is the field by the dielectric materials. Okay, here are the few dielectric material against their dielectric constants. Vacuum having the dielectric constant of 1, gases 5 to 10, mica 3 to 6, neoprene 6.70, and toluene, etc. Teflon, polyvinyl chloride, polyethylene, air, plexiglass, etc. Okay, they said that K can also be used for the relative permittivity, K or epsilon R. Okay, same thing, but mostly K were not used because K is also the Coulomb constant also represented by the K, so there will be a confusion for the readers to differentiate between the Coulomb's constant and the relative permittivity. So we would avoid to represent the dielectric permittivity by K. Okay, here again we can see that C was actually the capacitance of a capacitor with dielectric material, and C naught was the capacitance of the dielectric of the capacitor with the vacuum. So it means epsilon R is the ratio of the capacitance of a capacitor with the dielectric material to the capacitance of a capacitor without the dielectric material. Okay, so it will give you the values. These were actually the values. How the glass is having the dielectric constant of 5? This is because when a field was applied to the capacitor and there was no dielectric material, means the glass. So in that case we were having the dielectric constant of, for example, 1, and when we place the glass, then we will get C by C naught equal to 5, means we have the dielectric constant of glass is 5 to 10. Okay, depend upon the material of the glass. Okay, some few more materials: titanate, ceramics, mica, steelite, soda lime, porcelain, fused silica, and these were the ceramics. These were the polymers made. Okay, and the dielectric strength is also mentioned against every material. Dielectric strength means the strength of the material to withstand the voltage. Okay, now in detail, what is the dielectric strength or the breakdown voltage? Dielectric strength of an insulating material is the maximum electric field strength that it can withstand intrinsically without breaking down, that is, without experiencing failure of its insulating properties. Okay, so breakdown means loss of the insulation property. although it may be physically okay, but if it doesn't perform the insulation properly, so we can say that it has been punctured, or we can say that breakdown has been occurred for that particular material. All the insulating material fail to at some level of applied voltage, and dielectric strength is the voltage a material can withstand before breakdown occurs. Okay, so we will study the breakdown processes for the different dielectric materials, for example the gaseous dielectric materials, the solids and the liquids in detail. So it is just a brief introduction for the breakdown strength. At breakdown, the electric field frees bound electrons. If the applied electric field is sufficiently high, free electrons may become accelerated to velocities that can liberate additional electrons during the collision with neutral atoms or molecules in a process called avalanche breakdown. Actually, we will study this thing in detail in the energy processes, but briefly I can tell you that they are telling that if we are providing enough energy, that electron can be free. Electron can get out of the nucleus hole. Here is the nucleus, so it means it become free. So now this free electron is having some kinetic energy. It will collide, this free electron will then collide with other neutral atom. It is actually an electron, and this is a neutral atom, for example A. So it will collide with this A and it will eject the electron from this neutral atom as well. So this is actually because of the collision, and collision is having energy of kinetic energy. So it will knock out the electron from this atom, and this is actually the incident electron. This is the knockout electron from this. So we will left with A plus, because electron has been ejected from this neutral atom. So in this statement, they are telling about the collision process. So as soon as now two electrons, we have two electrons, now these two electrons will collide with some other neutral atom, and with the passage of time the ionization becomes greater, becomes higher. So this process is called then the avalanche. Avalanche means flood. You will having the flood of electrons, means a complete breakdown of the insulator has been occurred if we have the flood of electrons. Okay, now materials against with the dielectric strength in megavolt per meter. Helium is having the dielectric strength of 0.15 megavolt per meter. Okay, air mostly we can represent it by in per centimeter, but in this table they are, the values are given in per meter. It's okay. Fused silica, waxed paper, neoprene, rubber, these all are the insulating materials, and mostly are made up of solid materials. Okay, so because solids have the dielectric strength greater than the liquids, and liquids are having the dielectric strength greater than the gaseous. Okay, is if E electric field intensity is large enough, then the atom gets ionized. But if for the less extreme fields, means we have not enough large electric field, then what would happen? The atom gets polarized, not the ionized, but get the polarized. Okay, so what is dielectric polarization? The process of this movement, alignment of the dipoles. Okay, this is actually called the dielectric polarization. This is the neutral form when it is not placed in any electric field. Now electric field has been applied, it is directed from right to left. It means here we have the positive field, positive plate, positive electrode, and here we have the negative. That is why it is directed from right to left. Okay, now what would happen? This red actually is the position of the dielectric material after placing in the electric field. We are getting the polarized form of this atom or this molecule, positive and negative. Here we have the positive charges, positive, and here we have the negative electrodes, so it gets polarized. Okay, So this movement is called M, dipole moment. Okay, the M, the negative ions are moving towards this, so this is actually the dipole moment. And the alignment process of these dipoles are actually called the dielectric polarization. Okay. Okay, now we have two types of dielectric. It depends upon their structure. Some are having the polar dielectric and some are the non-polar dielectric. Polar dielectric means they are permanently polar, means they are their structure is such that already a polarized form is available in their structure, but they are not aligned at all. So if these permanent dipoles will be placed in the electric field, so it gets aligned. Okay, for example, this is the example of water. We have the polar dielectric. Polar water is the example of the polar dielectric. Okay, so polar is having water having the 2H ions plus on one side and O negative on the other side, and it is having an angle of 105 degree. Okay, so no matter if it is placed in electric field or it is out of the electric field, the angle remain the same. Okay, it will not it will never change. Okay, it is just aligned, it will just rotate. Okay, like this, by 90 degree or rotate by 180 degree, but the angle remain the same. Okay, in either case. So for example, this is the random alignment, randomly arranged water molecules, but when electric field is applied, it start alignment. Okay, it start rotation and alignment. And the negative, how they will rotate, this is actually the O, and these are the H. So the positive will be attracted by the O. Okay, this, it will rotate in this direction. So all the O's will be on left side and all the H will be on right side. For example, this is the positive and this is the negative. Okay, so what would this will be the alignment position after applying the electric field. So this is called what, the polarization in polar dielectric. Okay, so other examples are alcohol, water, ammonia and HCl. Okay, and each having this some number of some angle. Okay, in HCl we have the HCH and Cl, so there will be 180 degree always. And non-polar, this is actually the non-polar, or we can say the temporary dipoles. When not placed in the electric field, structure is just like that, and when placed in electric field it gets polarized, but it is a permanently uh, polar position. When the electric field is removed, again it will come to its original structure. Okay, so that is why it is also called the temporary dipoles. Temporary dipoles. Okay, that is all for the moment. The example of the non-polar are the nitrogen, oxygen, benzene, methane, etc. Okay, so this stretching is actually the alignment or the polarization, and that is actually the that is because of the electric field, or we can say that electric stress has been applied for this dielectric material. That is why it influenced because of this electric field. And if the electric field is such that it can knock out the electron from that dielectric material, so then we can say that it gets ionized and a conduction will be start. Okay, conduction will be start. Okay, thank you.